Welcome to episode 3 of this Let's Play series of Age of Wonders 4. This is a pre-release version of the game, so there may be some changes. Before I get started, a special thank you to my Patreon supporters, anyone who does support the channel, whether it be through buying merchandise or any of the other myriad ways. There's links down below in the description. Anyway, let's get into it. We've got our forces. They actually now healed up quite nicely. There's still actually, this halberdier is just a little bit injured, and we can actually now come across into here and actually sort of do another safe battle against this particular marauder group. Again, we can just auto battle, but it is a good idea just to get used to the actual combat in the game. So we'll just go through the underground passage and then make our way across. We do actually have this unit as well, so I'm going to move that one in as well. Now I might just I can leave this as long as it's within 3 of the actual fight. It will then participate. Now we can't actually open up this rock, but we can open up this rock. So let's just get this one started. Just move that one across to here and get it to dig this one out and see where that one leads. And in the meantime, we'll just send this group into the actual attack. You can see now this one is actually now highlighting the other unit that we've just got moving across this side. We also have another unit back over here. Now, have we done everything we need to do in this side? And I think we have. I don't think there's much else we can actually open up. But it looks like there is. So actually, yeah, there is over there. Okay. Look, what I might do is I might just keep on having a look around the outside walls and just see if there's any other walls that we can actually impact, and just see if we can break through into different zones, because we're going to need to expand fairly desperately. Actually, we're sort of now a little bit behind in our development. So let's go and move into here. Again, a nice easy battle. And so, lease on unlife. A bone golem and other undead stare at your troops with fear and hunger in equal measure. Fear, however, soon seems to prevail, rendering the group unwilling to attack. The lifeless beings shuffle around, trying to keep their distance from your army. Will you avoid them and allow them to escape, or will you strike first? So we can go death to these dead. We can do that one, which is just going to be an easy attack. Leave them dead and let them keep on causing mayhem. So evil character, so the independent army will be removed from its location. Use magic, release their spirits, and let the dead finally rest. And so this is actually, we lose 106 mana, which I'm just not going to do. And so I'm just going to go and just deal death to them. And this one just changes into a slightly evil character. I think I'll actually just stay with this one here. We'll just do the attack. And so I can do an auto combat, which is be nice and easy in this case if we wanted to. But we'll do manual combat. Now, I won't bother using any spells for the simple reason that we won't need to, because it's going to be fairly basic. Now, when you've got flying units like this that are coming through, they are still on the ground, essentially. So they sort of, like, they don't stand on the ground, but they're flying, but they're not actually... it's really just more how they get around. So this unit is flying, has +2 vision range, can move in any terrain at a movement cost of 5, requires seafaring to traverse water hexes, can safely move past most other units and obstacles in combat. So we can still hit it, so we don't have to worry about that, but it can jump over the top of us if required. So that's sort of what it does actually have. It's got some blight resistance there. It's got fire weakness, which is good for us. So the undead are going to be very easy for us to attack. It's got spirit weakness as well, and it's also got then frost resistance. That's sort of what it does actually do. It's a reasonably strong fighter type unit, and then we've got a shock unit back through here. This is the bone golem, and so it's essentially just a creature, a monster made up of dead creatures, and it's a shock unit, so it will actually sort of do very, very well against shield units. Consumes corpses as well to actually heal itself up if it needs to. It's got the charge strike there of 20. Again, fire weakness. And so this has got 32 normal movement points. Just close that one off. We can sort of see where it goes. So we probably want to get close to it without actually getting too close to it. So we don't want to give it a chance to do the charge. By the way, the charge, if we have a bit of a look at this one through here, charge strike. So it gains 20% damage per hex travelled up to 3 hexes. So if we can have it so that it doesn't change much, if we can be the one that closes the gap with it, it won't get the charge bonus. So we want to do that. So it can move out to there. So we don't want it to move to there and then do an attack, we want to be just one back from there if we can handle that. So in fact that's perfect. And we've got that one there. We also have this one back over this side, so we'll just move this one across. By the way, you can actually undo. So you can undo if no attacks were triggered, no abilities or spell were used, and the unit has one damage while moving. So this one here, we're just one away, which is perfect. I'm going to move. I want that one exactly in there, so that's actually okay. I can just move across these mushrooms. And now the vampire hatchling, I don't really want it in the fight. It's only got 54 attacks, so I just want it sort of basically around. Now this thing may come across the other side of it, so we have to be a little bit careful of that. Let's just move this one up. There's our flame giver. We could actually go onto that up to the top there if we needed to. Just keep that one where that is. It's not ideal. Alright, leave it there. So we've got all our wardings and shield walls and things going up. Now see how it's trying to sort of leave enough gap. So the AI just doesn't blunder in, but this is actually now enough for me to start to move. Now they've left themselves a bit of a gap. This is what the AI will tend to do, just outside of the range of our ranged units, but it doesn't matter because these ranged units have only got like a single shot anyway. Now I'm going to go and move in. Now I can actually do damage to that one or to that one. There's a lot of retaliation coming back though. So what I think we'll do is we'll just close the gap and then we'll start. Actually, how far can that one move in? Not very far. Let's get these nice and close with each other. So rather than attack, I'm just going to go and try to keep them where they are. I can move that one up right up next to it, but let's not do that. Let's move this one in. Then we've got the fire blast. Now we've got, like, both of these will take a lot of, like 60% chance of burning, and the same through there. They've got fire weakness. And if I press control, no, we can't see any specifics there. It's now burning for 3 turns. That makes it a little bit worse off if we have a bit of a look and see what's going on with that one. So burning. So unit sustains 8 fire damage each turn for 3 turns, so which is a fairly substantial amount. Just go back across into this one now. And we've still got the archer as well. Now I've got to be careful of the archer because how far can we move in? We can move right into there. Let's bring the archer down this way, and then we'll fire at the wyvern. Now we don't actually have what we were looking for with the archers, which was to get the flame arrows. We don't actually have them just yet. And then we've got this one moving in. And I think just to sort of keep everything going, I'm just going to move this one in around to here as well. So I'm now just going to, we've got Ignite. So target enemy unit sustains 25 fire damage is inflicted with burning. And the ground is also set on fire. So I could actually use this. It's only 10 mana and 10 spell casting. I've got 30 spell casting points. I might do that on this one here. It just does such a lot of damage to these guys. Bang, and then the ground is set on fire underneath it. But that's done a lot of damage just with that spell. So we'll end our turn there. The game is so different every time you play it, depending on what you sort of then go and pick. There's Bolster Defense. There's Giant Slayer. Oh, it didn't move. It stayed where it was. So we're getting Bolster Defense all the time. And it killed itself with the Rune of Retaliation. We sort of did more damage back to it, back in through there. So that's now the Bone Wyvern taken care of. Let's now finish this thing off. Again, we can actually move with our hero unit, which we haven't been able to do before in Age of Wonders, and still cast a spell. So it's actually, I just like it's everything is sort of freed up in the game, which is really quite nice. And 70%, we'll just go and do this one. So with this one here, there's a 70% chance we're going to get the full hit. There's a 95% chance if we miss the 70%. There's still a 95% chance with our die roll that we're going to get a graze and still do like half damage. And then there's a 5% chance because it's 25 on top of the actual percentage that we see there. So there's a 5% chance left over that we'll miss completely. Graze. So we rolled like an 80 or something along those lines. Alright, now that one has actually now collapsed back into a skeleton unit. So we now have a skeleton unit, which is just basically a polearm unit. And so it's got a melee strike in through there. Bulwark itself. Yeah, so anyway, this is a Forgeborn one of, like it's basically based on us. Interesting. So that's a skeleton unit that we don't control. So we'll just go back into these. And we've got the melee strikes in through this side, so let's just go for it. You'll notice that it's got sort of like temporary healing in there, a lot of it. And this one will then kill it. Got it. And that's done. So we just close that one off. And so the reward that we got was a nightmare that we got. And so this is a tier 2 mount. Very fast movement, the cavalry type, intimidating aura. And so if I just take the reward, if I go into my character screen and then have a look and see, we do actually have a area that we can put in there, but we can't use a mount if we've got this. So if we have a look at this one here, we've got a mirror shield which we can't use, and a nightmare bit that we can't use. So if we get another type of hero, we may be able to then add those in. So that's something we should actually look for. And we'll do that by starting a new city. We'll do that fairly soon, I think. Don't think we can sort of do much in here. Look and see what this sort of opens up. There may be openings. I don't think. Oh, yes, there is a big opening back out through this side. So that might be worth having a bit of a look at to create another city out there. You should have tried by turn, like before now, sort of around turn 8 or so, to have started to build an outpost so that you can actually have another city. So we're going to be a little bit behind, unfortunately, and this will bite a little bit. We'll just claim this one so we can get a bit of vision around this part of the map as well. There's more fights going on back over there. You'll not see much else. Let's just keep on having a look. Alright, so spell is now ready for fiery arrows. So we're going to go and do this one. And what this is going to then do when we do it, we're going to enchant all of these units, like not all of these ones, but all of the 2 ranged units that we have in our army. Well, the 2 arbalists will now actually become, they'll have now the fiery arrows. But the total unit upkeep is going to be 2. Now, normally it would be 4, but because of the bonuses that we actually have to reduce the upkeep, it doesn't sort of tell you there what the upkeep is going to be, but ultimately it's going to mean that we end up paying a lot less upkeep, which is really big. Like, it's because otherwise it's just going to start to cost a fortune in mana as we build these little armies. So we'll just go and enchant this one. So flaming arrows has now been applied, and so these guys now are much better at fighting the undead, not so much against the frostlings. I sort of was hoping that the fire would actually work against the frostlings, but it doesn't. Just going to continue. But they've now been set, so that's good. We've now sort of cast that particular spell. When we have a look, now we've actually opened this one up, and we've still got this area back over here. There is an area back over this other side Yeah, we can move across, and there, that looks like it's an independent city. Perfect. So that's going to be good. Now, can we move across there? Yeah, I'll just try that one next time. I think we can get across there. Maybe we can't. Anyway, let's just go and tackle this one. This is another safe, easy battle. We've still got the damage that was caused back there. Having said that, I really wouldn't mind. Well, this is definitely a city. It would be good to get hold of make contact with this particular city. I'll just go and take this one on. And this is more of the spiders, the hunter spiders, and then we've got a dread spider hatchling as well. So a bit easier than what we saw there before. I might just auto combat this one. And again, if we end up with results we're not happy with, we can then just come back through and retry. But that's all okay. We did use. Actually, we've lost a bit of casting points there. We'll just close that one off, and we should have leveled up by now. The rule has now leveled up. So if we have a look at our stack, we can start to see that some of these will start to pick up different abilities. Like these arbalists and the tier 1 units that we actually had are going to be better levels ultimately, but the others didn't really level up. It's just our leader has now leveled up. And so with the level ups we actually have, these are then divided into different areas. Like warfare is more if we were a melee type fighter. So we've got sort of like, and these are, you can still pick from these of course, but these are sort of much more melee style. You've got the battle mage, battle magic, if you're more of a battle mage, which we really aren't, but we still can go for this and get like lightning evocation, which would be cool. Then we go down, we've got the support units. Now these are usually good, and I think the experienced leader is probably the one we want to go for. So while the army leader, all non-hero units in the army gain +2 experience each turn. And so we've got True Sight as well, we don't need that one. We've got Vigor, which just gives us more hit points. The experienced leader though, to get the +2 experience is going to help to promote like those spiders that we're going to be getting. So let's just go and grab that. We then have to confirm that. So we've now got no more points left over. Close that one, and so he's now at level 2. Close that, and we've still got this guy as well. Yeah, looks like this is all closed off. I don't think we're going to be. We can break through over there, so we'll do that. We do need to get ourselves another city. Pretty desperately, actually. Meeting Curious Brechier, there we go. So Guild Mistress Braga Silverback of the Free City of Brechier. So we can hover over this to sort of see. These are Forgeborn as well. So these are the same as us. That means that they're going to be easy for us to convert. Greets you with some curiosity. Legendary DasTactic is rare for Brechier to meet an ascended champion like you. Nevertheless, we ask that you respect the territory and independence of Brechier. So we can either give the mortal Braga Silverback one of your Whispering Stones to start negotiations and gradually improve their allegiance with you. So we're going to do exactly that. So let me see if the people of Brechier are of interest. And so when we go and do this one, we can then sort of start the process of doing things. Now they've actually come through with a mission or like not so much a quest, like not so much like the old Age of Wonders quest, but essentially an event. So you receive an official invitation from the friendly Guildmaster of Brechier. The Great Forge Lord, we at Brechier humbly invite you to join the name day celebration of our Guild Mistress Braga Silverback. We would be honoured if you would attend, and we look forward to your gift. So you're invited to celebrate the name day of Braga Silverback. What gift will you bring? And so order your finest artist to bring a flattering portrait of Guildmistress Braga. Now this is going to cost me 183 gold. It will improve the relations, and I'll explain this when we can get and have a look at the city itself, but it will improve the relations with Brechier with plus 200. Now at the moment the relations I think are already at 200, so that'll then take it to 400. And then they'll be swayed, and you'll see this in what does go on for 18 turns. Now these speed up the process of getting them to vassalization. So it's a diplomatic way of trying to accelerate the game, and it can be very, very important. For us, this is critically important. So the money is definitely worth it. A small trinket is 114. We still get swayed for 18 turns, but it's only plus 100. So we sort of We lose a little bit there. I think it's worth the 70 odd gold to get the plus 100 relationship that we actually have there. My gift is that it's allowed to live another day, so it makes them displeased for 18 turns, so we don't want that. And make an excuse to not attend a celebration also makes them displeased. So I'm going to pay for the actual artists, and then we'll talk about what actually happens with Brechier itself. Now, Brechier is only a size 4 town, but it's the start of something good. You can sort of see through there that they actually expanded into this location just as we sort of broke through. And so if we go and have a look at this one here, we don't actually have a proper relationship with them. When we did select to go and give them the Whispering Stone, we didn't actually do it. We've still got it in our coffers. So let's just go across. The Whispering Stone is like a Palantir from Lord of the Rings, essentially. It allows you to communicate with them and do this. When you see that there's no Whispering Stone in through this side. So let's have a look and see when we do click on the cities, and you can do this with any city. You've then got like who's in charge, and so you can sort of have a look to see the person that's actually there. I don't know if you can right click. No, you can't right click on that one. Sort of what they are, like this is an independent free city, and this is the relationship. So they were at 400. We now got plus 200 because what we just did, and then we've got another Swade, which is going to then sort of be kicking in for 18 turns, which is going to then sort of add in another 200, a false 200 essentially. So shared affinities, so we actually share the Materium affinity, and which opposes Astral, and the ruler origin is the champion of the people. So we also have another extra 100 because we started off not as a mage, but as a champion. And so the effects are the allegiance with them will just take basically 3 turns. So in 3 turns' time, they're going to move from this position into a full-on, like this is actually sort of where we are with allegiance, sort of moving across into this side. So if we go to, this is neutral, and then this one in through here is a pact of cooperation. So we should actually reach that in a couple of turns, a few more turns. To reach that one, we need a minimum allegiance of 12. At the moment, we've got 0, and this will increase slowly over time. If I just hover over that one, allegiance, it's not sort of telling us exactly what does go on there, but if we can add in the stone, actually we should see. Not seeing the difference there as to what's going to happen with it, but if we give the Whispering Stone across, that gets placed into there. And what that then does is it then impacts the allegiance. Now we should be seeing this in here. There we go. So we've got the allegiance per turn is 5. The base value is +2, and then we have relations of trusting of +3. And so we get the Pact of Cooperation in 3 turns. And so this one here, the relations will be impacted by the Whispering Stone. Yeah, so it's anyway, that means essentially we're going to be sort of getting things going fairly quickly. Now we can, if we wanted to, spend a bit more of our hard-earned Empire Imperium points, the Imperium points back up through there to boost that if we wanted to. Now we can only do this every so often. So if you really need, if you're competing with somebody else, do it. If you're not, probably don't do it if you think you may need them for other things. So this is a good start for us because we do want to get vassals, and ultimately the vassals can then become actual cities under our control if we want that way. There's all sorts of other little things that come from these relationships as we get them into vassalization. So it takes a bit of time. This is just the first steps across going from war through to the Pact of Cooperation, through to Pact of Loyalty, and then from there we then go into a whole lot of other things through vassalization in different ratios after that one through there. So it's a very interesting way that the game actually does do this, and it's nothing you have to really worry much about, but there's just a lot of steps. It takes a long time to get these, and so you want to be getting as good a relationship as you possibly can, because this does give you the +3 from the relations is important. The stones also do give you a boost as well, but I'm not actually seeing it listed there. Maybe next turn it might start to do that one. Anyway, that's all we needed to do. We just need to sort of start that process. We'll just go across. Gem Keeper. Now we can actually go and get another area. Now I don't want them extending down this way. If we just go back across and have another look at this as an example. Yeah, they'd have to then pick that one there. It looks like it's actually hasn't been picked as such. I think we might start to claim some of these territories. We're doing pretty well. I think we might grab this one in here, and I might get a research post just so we can start to push this research level up. So let's just go that one. So we get a research post. As I say, we can always come back and change these if we're not happy with it. Let's just unclick that one for a second. Now the production back in through this side. We've now finished off in through here. We've got one more turn before we get the pyromancer. And so the boosted we can get now is the town hall. So let's go now and pick up this one in through this side. So we're slowly getting more and more different sorts of structures coming back in. So we can get the library very quickly now, but the town hall is going to give us plus 10 gold. I think that looks good actually, so we'll just go that way. So actually the tavern, at the moment we're doing pretty well with everything. It's nice and stable. We would like to boost it, and the tavern is a good way to get that one started. And so this will then make actually everything a bit happier. But we won't rush that one just yet. All right, so this guy here, yeah, we can actually get rid of that. If we get rid of that, it then opens up even more in this area, which then means that they can expand in towards where we are, which I don't think is a massive problem, to be honest. I do want to grab this myself. I don't think that they'll be there before us. Let's just do that one with that unit. Now we still need to go and set up our own town, and I think I'm going to do that. There's just nothing down in here, unfortunately. I might just sort of move backwards. Really can't sort of open up anything else, and we need a hero to be able to do this. Just go with orders required. God, we really drew the short straw being on the same landmass as Arctica. There's nothing else over this side. Okay. Now we've just researched the Steel Fury chant. So there's a buff. So all friendly units lose all stacks of bolstered defense. Now we haven't seen much of that. We did in the last fight, but not too much of it. Select new research. So we've got Searing Blades. This is the other one that we wanted to go and get. So this is the one that actually gives us fire damage for our polearm units, the shield units, and the fighter units. So we'll go and grab those. And getting close now to getting the next tome of magic, which we'll then sort of talk a bit about. There's really not a lot down this way that we can impact. Now, can we do this one? We can't quite reach it. We're just one hex away from that one. Don't know if we can reach it with this unit either. No, not quite. I think that's going to have to be something we look at trying to expand into here, and then creating another city once with whatever we find in this other location. I mean, in an ideal world, we'd have other things happening in there. Let's bring the pyromancer in just to sort of work in with the rest of the group. Oh, now this is a wandering stack. We've just opened this one up, and we've got now a marauder guard, which has just actually appeared. And so this is actually coming in with a vampire spider matriarch, so one of the big tier 3 spiders. We've got a vampire spider hatchling, and then we also have a skeleton polearm unit. Now I'm going to start to move this one back away from there. So that one may follow us. I don't think it can reach us. No, it can only reach to there. So we may need to come back and deal with that with an army. Let's just keep on scouting out through this other side. There's another something else in there as well. It's a Bazaar of Wonders. Wow. Okay, so this is actually a special area, like a beyond. This is beyond the simple things that have been built in this particular location. This is probably our first target once we become aggressive, if we can do it. Yeah, there's sort of like extra things that you can then go and do. This is different now. We've got winter fairies that have been created, all sorts of weird and wonderful things. That's a battle mage unit. Let's just go and scout through here a little bit. Astral Rift over that side, which is where that red is coming from. Now we've got the we haven't been building anything else in through here. Let's just go back in. Now what can we build? You can see it's starting to now open up. I won't bother with any much of that stuff. The Grand Mill will give us more growth. The growth will be important. The tavern would be good just to get the happiness up. We're not getting much boosted there really, other than Caltrop Stash, which is sort of like just a fortification. The library would be great to get another +10. We're at 65 now. That will then... we need a boost of a forester to get that one. We've got the market. +15 gold. Again, we don't really need that one desperately. I think the Grand Mill... I think we'll go and get that one. So we'll pop that one in there. And we have the... in through here, we now can get our level 2 units. So more halberdiers if we wanted to. But the cheap ones for us are the tier 1 units. So I'm just going to go back and get more of the Anvil Guards. And I'll probably end up with getting a few of these. We might actually boost what we can do with the draft as well at some point, because that would be fairly useful. I'll just bring those together. Bring those in as well. Now that's hit the water. It's going to come back to the city. In fact, I can leave it. It can ravage the lands that we actually have, which would be a bit of a pain. But you know, we can always bring these guys back if we actually. I might just start doing this one just in case we don't find a way through. But it does look like it does open up on the other side there. And that looks good. Yeah, so they're now starting to... now, quite often, you don't get information, and this is a bug, and it may be fixed by the time you sort of see anything, but this has now invaded our land. Sometimes you get warnings about it, and sometimes you don't. If we have a look and see, we were insulted back and through here by the Queen, so Artica. So the Frost Queen, so we won't worry about this one. We're already at -750. War justification balance is 10 minor, and so there is actually a bit of grievance, but it's still not enough to sort of really declare war, and we don't want to do that ourselves. Negotiations succeeded back and through here. Pact of Cooperation. So we've now reached that next level, and we're just moving along towards the Pact of Loyalty. So we'll just go up next, Pact of Loyalty, good news, proceed. And if we have a look at this one, the allegiance is now 15. And so, yeah, we're getting the basically 5 per turn, which is fine, that's good. We won't bother boosting it. Now we need to finish this thing off. And it's a bit stronger than what we've seen before. This now has opened up. What I think I might do is just keep the Arbalist moving through. Just see if there's anything else we can do in there. It looks like there's not. Oh, damn it. Okay, so we can't actually break through there. So that's no good for us. That's a bit of a dead end. I really wanted to actually create a something down into this side. So let's just go back with our leader and just get these guys to follow along. And just get these so that they're a little bit exposed, but still close enough. Again, if we wanted to sort of make sure... So that one should be picking up our leader. It's actually not. Okay, so we'll just go back into the city itself. Well, there's nothing much else here on this map. I'll get the vassalization, then we'll go underground again. This is probably the best bet to actually build something out here. God, we've had a rough start here, actually. Very, very rough start. It's almost start again mode. At least we found this city. And you can see now it's green, so things are sort of working towards where we want that to go. Okay, that's all okay. There's nothing we can build there, so there's no excavation areas that will show up. Nope, just cancel. Alright, so that's fine. So we need to stop this one before it gets into here. And so if we have a look and see what's actually going on with this one, it's hitting this this research post is now occupied, and it's being pillaged in two more turns. There's 2 turns left, so we need to get back and destroy it before that actually does happen. When it's pillaged, it basically means that we can't get any benefit from it. We can't get any benefit while it's actually occupied either. So that's actually what's happening in that particular location. The orders are required. I'm just going to leave that one back there just so it's got the support, and we'll end our turn there. High stakes. So during diplomatic negotiations, Guildmistress Braga of Brechier invites you to a game of high stakes Wizards and Kings. Very soon it becomes clear that the Guildmistress from Brechier is not up to the intricacies of a game meant to be played by Godir, which is sort of like the mages of the world. There it is. If you want to read that, you can pause and read. What should have been a pleasant way to exchange favours slowly turns into a diplomatic disaster as Braga grows more and more frustrated with every move you make. You'd easily beat Guildmistress Braga, but perhaps there are more important things. Now, all I really care about is getting this allegiance. So we can claim the stakes, so we lose allegiance with her, and we don't want to do that one. We can just let her win, and we lose gold, but we do then gain another 12, and we reach the Pact of Loyalty immediately. And for me, this is quite important, so I'm going to go and do that one. And so we now actually, when we go and have a look, we now actually can see different things that are going on through there. There's a haunted graveyard, which we're going to have to go and clear out ourselves. There's an underground passage there. This is interesting. If you go and have a look at the overworld. So that's on the other landmass, I think. It may provide an access for us out of our area, which would be quite nice. It also allows us to open up a bit more this side, but that's the bottom of the map. We've got a silver, a desecrated wonder there, which we can't actually do anything with. Your army is trespassing, so we've actually got like a problem. Okay, they've actually now gone and created an outpost here. So your army is trespassing due to external changes. If you move your army out of the domain on this turn, you will not incur a relations penalty or a grievance against you. So we'll just click on OK. And so they've actually they've created this particular area back in through here. So this is now controlled by, she's actually gone and cleared that one. I would have liked to have done that myself. I like to see that the AI is doing this though, because that's a good thing. So we've moved out of there. They've now claimed this mirror fields, which I would have loved to have gotten that myself. Which, I mean, we're going to have to go to war with them at some point. We've got more outposts. This is what we're not doing. We're not keeping up with them. They're just getting more and more and more, which we just can't really contend with. So we're going to now got the Pact of Loyalty. Proceed with that one. And we've got another skill. Now we actually have one in through here where we can go and increase the city cap, but we've only got one city. We should have, by this stage, have 2, maybe 3, even 3 cities. So we're a long way behind. We can build roads. We can go in cities that share a border with the Throne City, gain plus 10% of all types of income. That would actually be good. We don't need that one just yet, though. And then we also have gained 3 gold per unit tier of the units killed in combat. Again, would be okay, but I don't think I'll worry about it just yet. So let's just go and close this one. Let's also go and have a look at the spell casting up here. Yeah, so we're now up to the next area, which is the next tome. In fact, if I just go back and press escape, it should be showing up on the side here. Searing Blades has now been done, and the chapter is now complete. And now we need to pick a new tome. I might leave it here, guys, so we can actually come back in the next episode and then talk about the tomes and the choices that you then actually have, and why it's important to choose your first tome wisely. Anyway, I'll catch you next time. Thanks for watching.